Imagine this scenario. You wake up in a forest, and it isn't some peaceful morning hike. It's a complete nightmare.
Right.
It's raining, it's freezing cold, the mud is seeping into your clothes, you are screaming a name, Anna, at the top of your lungs. But here's the problem. You have absolutely no idea who Anna is.
Not at all.
In fact, you don't even know who you are. You look down at your hands, and they are just
Bro.
wrong. They're bony, unfamiliar. A stranger's hands.
That's such a terrifying thought.
You're totally lost, shivering, and then a figure in this terrifying beak-back, mask like a medieval plague doctor, appears out of the mist and gives you the rules of your new existence.
And those rules are everything.
You have 8 days to solve a murder. But, and this is where your brain really starts to bend, you will live that same day 8 times, and each time you wake up,
Yep.
you're in the body of a different suspect.
It's a premise that feels like a fever dream.
Yeah.
Or, maybe a specific kind of purgatory. But that is the hook of the novel we are dissecting in this deep dive. The 712 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton.
This book is so many things at once. It's a genre-blending monster. We're talking classic Agatha Christie-style country house murder mystery. The crumbling manor, the dinner jackets, all the secrets.
Those tropes we love.
Mixed with the time loop mechanics of, Groundhog Day. But then it's wrapped in this layer of dystopian sci-fi that completely recontextualizes everything. It is, I think, arguably one of the most complex puzzle box novels of the last decade.
Puzzle box is really the perfect description.
Yeah.
It's absolutely designed to disorient you before everything clicks into place.
Yeah.
And the mission at the heart of the book sounds deceptively simple. We follow a protagonist, Aidan Bishop. He's trapped on an estate called Blackheath House.
Okay.
His goal is to identify who kills the heiress, Evelyn Hardcastle, at the masquerade ball that evening. If he fails after his 8 distinct host bodies have had their turn, his memory is wiped.
A total reset.
Tabula rasa. And he starts the loop all over again.
And that wiping mechanism is just terrifying. It's not just, oh, try again, buddy. It's forget you ever tried. I really want to dive into the mechanics of this world immediately because the rules of Blackheath are essentially a character in themselves. This isn't just a standard time loop where one guy learns to play the piano perfectly because he has infinite time. This is body hopping.
Correct. The term used in the source material is hosts. So Aidan Bishop wakes up as a different person each day, but he's not moving forward in time. He's moving laterally across the same day.
Right.
Day 1, he wakes up as Sebastian Bell, a cowardly, drug-addled doctor. Day 2, he might be Lord Ravencourt, a wealthy but physically disabled banker. Day 3, a playboy named Donald Davies.
But he keeps his own mind, right? Or does he lose parts of it? Because that seems like the recipe for complete insanity.
Well, that's the friction point. That's the conflict. Aidan retains his own memories once he manages to access them through the fog of the transfer, but he is constantly battling the physical and mental limitations of the person he is inhabiting.
So it's not just wearing a disguise.
Not at all. He is running his software on their hardware.
Wow. There is a visceral description in the text where Aidan says, I forget everything between footsteps. The disorientation isn't just mental, it's deeply physical. He looks in a mirror and doesn't recognize the face staring back. It's this profound dissociation.
It's like trying to drive a car, but every day the steering wheel is in a different place, the brakes work differently, and sometimes the car just, screams at you.
That's a great way to put it.
And the hardware influences the software. This is so crucial for you, the listener, to understand, to grasp the stakes here. When Aidan is in the body of Sebastian Bell, he isn't just Aidan in a weak bounty. He feels Bell's anxiety. Bell is a timid, cowardly man.
Right.
So Aidan, who we learn is naturally determined and brave, finds himself shaking, unable to act, paralyzed by a fear that isn't even his own.
Which completely changes how he investigates, doesn't it? If you're a coward, you don't kick down doors.
No.
You hide. You ask polite questions. You miss things.
Exactly. But then you compare that to when he wakes up as Lord Ravencourt. Ravencourt is morbidly obese. He needs a cane and a carriage to get anywhere. So physically, he is useless for a chase scene. If the killer runs, Ravencourt just watches him go.
He's stuck.
But mentally, Ravencourt is a genius. He has this razor-sharp deductive reasoning. Suddenly, Aidan can solve logic puzzles in seconds that would have taken Sebastian Bell hours.
So the skill tree changes every day. You have to play the game differently depending on the avatar you're given.
The skill tree, the personality quirks, the prejudices, everything. It forces the reader and Aidan to realize that competence is relative to the biology you're trapped in. It's a fascinating constraint.
We have to talk about the other players on the board, though, because Aiden isn't just wandering around this mansion playing detective. He's being hunted. This isn't some safe space.
No, it's a killing field. It is absolutely not a solo game. There are two primary antagonists, so they serve very different functions. First, you have the Plague Doctor.
The guy in the beak mask, the one from the intro.
The Game Master, yeah. He appears intermittently to explain the rules, or to taunt Aiden. He's cold, he's clinical, he treats Aiden like a lab rat in a maze. He's the one who sets the condition. Solve the mystery, get released. He represents the system, the rules, the inescapable logic of the loop.
And then there's the Footman. And honestly, this character is just pure nightmare fuel. While the Plague Doctor is the referee, the Footman is the executioner.
The Footman is another person trapped in the loop. But his role is to hunt down Aiden's hosts.
He kills them.
He murders them. And because of the time loop, just imagine the psychological horror of trying to solve a murder mystery while a serial killer is tracking you across 8 different timelines simultaneously. He might kill you on day 4, which means you never make it to day 5 to use that host's clues.
It raises the stakes from solve a puzzle to survive the next hour. It adds this ticking clock element where even if you have the answer, you might be dead before you can even deliver it. And amidst this chaos, there's Anna. She's the only friendly face, or seems to be.
Seemingly. Yeah. She's the mysterious ally.
Aiden finds notes from her, or he runs into her in various hosts. There's a specific note that really drives him. Don't leave Blackheath. More lives than your own are depending on you. She represents hope. In a house full of liars and killers, she seems to be the only one trying to help him escape.
Let's ground this in the setting for a moment. Blackheath House. It's not a nice place. We aren't talking Downton Abbey with polished silver and happy servants here.
Far from it. The author describes Blackheath as a dying beast. It's a crumbling Georgian manor, totally isolated by a dense, dark forest. The descriptions are just heavy with decay rotting floorboards, the smell of damp, peeling wallpaper.
Claustrophobic.
Very claustrophobic. It feels like the house itself is hostile to human life.
Carpeted a ruin.
That phrase just stuck with me. It's like the party is a fungus growing on a corpse, you know? The guests are drinking champagne, but the floor is about to give way beneath them.
That's a very evocative way to put it. And the map matters. The geography, the graveyard, the lake, the reflecting pool. These aren't just background sets. They are specific puzzle pieces. Because the day repeats, Aiden has to know exactly where everyone is at every minute. The geography is the clock. If you're in the library at 2:00 p.m., you see one thing. If you're by the lake at 2:00 p.m., you see something completely different that changes the context of what happened in the library.
I want to circle back to the identity crisis theme you mentioned earlier. We talked about Ravencourt and Bellsmart versus Scared. But there's a much darker side to this host mechanic. It's not just about being smart or being slow. It's about morality. What happens when Aiden wakes up in a genuinely bad person?
This is where the novel shifts from a clever mystery to a really deep, philosophical examination of human nature. The most disturbing host by far is Jonathan Derby.
The source material calls him a monster. And reading those sections, you really, really feel it.
He is. Jonathan Derby is a rapist. He is violent, cruel, and dangerously impulsive. When Aiden wakes up in Derby's body, he isn't just dealing with a bad knee or something. He is fighting Derby's brain chemistry.
Oh, wow.
He feels sudden, unbidden lust. He feels irrational rage at people he doesn't even know. He has to physically restrain his own hands from assaulting people because the body he is inhabiting wants to do it.
That is terrifying. It completely challenges the idea of the soul, doesn't it? If you put a good soul in a bad brain, does the person stay good?
Yeah, it is the central question of the entire book. Aiden has a moment of profound existential panic. He starts smoking because the host is a smoker. His body demands the nicotine. He feels this hatred bubbling up. He thinks to himself, I'm not the man I'd hoped to be. I'm a coward.
He starts to doubt his own core identity.
Exactly. He begins to wonder, is his goodness just a mask he wears when he's in a decent host? Or is it his core self? If the biology overrides the morality, do we even have free will?
It strips away that comfort of identity. We all like to think, oh, I wouldn't do that. But Turton is asking, would you? If you had that level of testosterone or that specific trauma or that lack of impulse control, would you still be you?
It's nature versus nurture played out in real time within a single consciousness. Aiden has to fight just to keep his moral compass pointing north, while the magnetic field of the host body is trying to spin it south. It's a battle just to remain himself.
So Aiden is wrestling with these demons. He's dodging the footman. He's trying to keep track of a timeline that keeps resetting. But we can't forget the actual job. He has to solve the murder of Evelyn Hardcastle. Who is she?
Evelyn is the daughter of the house. She's been living in Paris for 19 years and has just returned to Blackheath. The masquerade ball is, on the surface, to celebrate her homecoming. But the script of the day dictates that at 11:30 p.m., she will die at the reflecting pool.
Now, Aiden witnesses this, or at least one of his hosts does, and it looks like a suicide.
Superficially, yes. She appears to shoot herself in the stomach with a silver pistol and falls into the pool. Case closed, right? A tragic suicide of a troubled woman.
But the plague doctor...
The plague doctor rejects this immediately. He insists it is murder.
And this is the first layer of the onion peeling back, because as Aiden investigates through his different hosts, gaining different clues from different perspectives, he realizes the suicide was a setup. But not in the way we usually think. It wasn't that someone forced her to do it.
Right. It's that Evelyn intended to fake her death. She wanted to escape.
Escape a forced marriage.
Exactly. Her parents were forcing her to marry Lord Ravencourt, our brilliant but immobile banker friend from earlier. It was a purely financial arrangement to save the estate from ruin.
So what was her plan?
Evelyn's plan was to use a blank pistol, shoot herself, fall in the pool, swim away under the cover of darkness, and start a new life away from her toxic family.
Smart plan. A little dramatic, but smart, but obviously it goes wrong. Catastrophically wrong. Someone knew about the plan. They swapped the blank pistol for a real one, or they ensured that when she pulled the trigger, she died for real. So the mystery shifts. It's not who shot Evelyn, it's who knew about her fake suicide plan and turned it into an execution.
That is a fantastic pivot, but you really can't talk about Evelyn's death without talking about the shadow hanging over the whole house. The original sin of Blackheath, as the book calls it. This goes back 19 years.
This is the motive engine for almost everyone in the house. 19 years ago, Evelyn's younger brother, Thomas Hardcastle, was murdered as a child, down by the lake.
And they caught the guy, right, a man named Charlie Carver.
They hanged a man named Charlie Carver for it. He was the groundskeeper. But the secrets of that day are still festering. It turns out almost everyone at this masquerade ball was also present 19 years ago.
So the present murder is an echo.
It's an echo of that past murder. The house is trapped in a cycle of violence that predates the time loop.
So it's a web of blackmail. Everyone has a motive to kill Evelyn, or to kill each other, because they are all hiding what really happened to Thomas Hardcastle.
Precisely. It's a closed-circle mystery where every single person is guilty of something. It's a house built on lies.
Okay, so we are deep in the weeds of the whodunit. We're tracking clues, we're body hopping, we're suspecting everyone. But then, Turton pulls the rug out from under us. And not just the rug, the whole floor. We get to the meta twist.
What is Blackheath?
This is where the genre shifts so dramatically. Up until this point, you could argue it's a supernatural purgatory or, some kind of ghost story. But late in the novel, the plague doctor reveals the truth. Blackheath is not a magic mansion.
What is it?
It is a futuristic rehabilitation prison.
A simulation.
A virtual reality construct. The plague doctor tells Aiden, we prefer to call it rehabilitation. The people trapped in the loop, Aiden, the footmen, Anna, even the hosts. They aren't random victims of a haunting. They are criminals. Their minds have been uploaded into this simulation. It blew my mind when I read it. The whole concept of body hopping, it's not magic. It's a program. It's designed. It's a mechanism to force empathy.
Exactly. Think about the justice system logic here. You take a criminal, someone who lacks empathy, someone who has hurt people, and you force them to literally walk a mile in everyone else's shoes. You force them to be the victim, the witness, the weak, the strong.
You break them down.
You break down their ego by fragmenting it across different people. You force them to solve a crime to prove they care about justice.
It's a Clockwork Orange meets The Matrix. It turns the whole book into this profound argument about prison reform. But then comes the twist regarding Aiden himself. Who is he? Is he a murderer?
That's the assumption. Why else would he be there? But the reveal is that Aiden Bishop entered voluntarily. He wasn't a prisoner. He was a visitor. He came in to save someone.
He came in to save Annabelle Calker, who we know as Anna, the woman leaving him notes. His ally. The person he feels closest to.
But here is the heartbreaking, complicated truth. Outside the simulation, Annabelle Calker is not a victim. She's a terrorist, a high-profile political radical who tortured and killed Aiden's sister, Juliet.
Okay, let's just pause on that. The woman Aiden has been protecting, the woman he feels is his only friend in this hell, is the person who murdered his sister in the real world. That's just impossible to process.
It recontextualizes the entire book. Aiden entered this hellish simulation to hunt her down, to ensure she never gets released. But because the simulation wipes memories upon entry, he met Anna without knowing her past.
He just saw her as a person.
He saw her scared. He saw her fighting to survive. He saw her helping him. He formed a bond with her based purely on who she is now in the simulation, stripped of her memories and ideology.
It's the ultimate test of the prison's philosophy, isn't it? Can a monster actually be redeemed? Aiden hates Annabelle Cocker, but he loves Anna.
It asks you, the listener, a very hard question. If you strip away the memory of the crime, is the person still guilty? Aiden looks at Anna and decides that the version of her inside Blackheath, the brave, selfless woman, is real. He says she's the only one who never hid who she truly was inside the loop. She fought for him when she didn't have to.
So armed with this devastating knowledge that this is a prison, that he's here to save his sister's killer, Aiden still has to solve the puzzle to get them both out. If he solves it, the system releases them. If he doesn't, they loop forever. Let's talk about the climax. How does he actually solve it?
The mechanics of the solution are just brilliant 4D chess. Because Aiden knows he will wake up in different bodies on previous days, he starts using his future knowledge to help his past selves.
It's like a relay race where he's every single runner on the team.
That's a perfect analogy. He leaves notes for hosts he hasn't become yet. He hides bodies so his past self won't find them and get arrested. He manipulates the timeline so that his 8 different selves are working together, passing the baton of information across the loop. He essentially coordinates an investigation with himself across time.
Okay, so let's get to the solution. The whodunit. Who killed Thomas Hardcastle 19 years ago? It wasn't the hanged man, Charlie Carver.
No. And this is the darkest reveal of the family history. The real killer of the child Thomas Hardcastle was his own sister, Evelyn Hardcastle.
What? Evelyn! The victim of our story was the villain of the backstory.
She was a child herself at the time, maybe 7 or 8 years old. Yeah. Thomas saw her with a stable boy, threatened to tell their parents, and in a moment of panic and, childish rage, she pushed him or hit him. She killed him to silence him.
And the family covered it up.
Her mother, Lady Helena, and the groundskeeper Charlie Carver covered it up to save the family reputation.
That paints Evelyn in a completely different light. Throughout the book, we pity her. She's the dying girl. But Aiden discovers she's actually been pretty ruthless inside the loop.
She hasn't just been a passive victim. Aiden discovers that Evelyn, and remember, she's also looping, trying to survive, has been killing people inside the simulation. She killed her mother. She killed her grandmother. She is cutting down anyone who threatens to reveal her secret. She is surviving at all costs.
So she's not a damsel, she's a shark. But that brings us back to the present-day murder at the pool. Who kills Evelyn Hardcastle?
Well, we know it wasn't a simple suicide. Aiden realizes there is a second killer working in the shadows, manipulating all the events.
This is where all the plot threads knot together so tightly.
The person who ultimately ensures Evelyn dies is Michael Hardcastle, her surviving brother.
But Michael loves Evelyn. They are inseparable in the book. He's presented as the grieving brother.
Or so it seems. Michael was the one poisoning people to cover up the family secrets. But the final, fatal blow, it involves a character named Felicity Maddox.
Felicity?
Yeah.
She was the con artist, right?
Right. Felicity was brought into the house as a decoy. She was hired to dress up as Evelyn to distract potential suitors or threats. A body double.
Classic decoy tactic.
But Felicity goes mad with betrayal when she realizes she's being used as a pawn in a murder plot. In the end, it's a chaotic convergence at the pool. Michael is poisoning, Felicity is shooting. The solution isn't just one person holding a smoking gun, it's a cascade of betrayal. Michael sets the stage, but Felicity pulls the trigger.
So Aiden untangles this massive knot. He solves the murders of Michael, Peter, and Helena. Anna solves the murder of Evelyn by naming Felicity Maddox. They've done it. They've beaten the house.
And this leads to the resolution. The plague doctor appears, and he keeps his word. Yeah. Because they both solve parts of the puzzle, they're technically eligible for release. But of course, there's a catch.
There's always a catch.
Usually, only one prisoner is released. But Aiden passionately argues for Anna's redemption. He argues that the simulation worked. She has changed. She isn't the terrorist anymore. She risked her life in the simulation to save him.
This is the most powerful choice in the book. Aiden could have left Anna to rot. He remembers who she was. He remembers his sister, Juliet. He has every reason to exact revenge right there. Just leave her in the loop for eternity.
But he chooses to let her go.
It's a complete rejection of that eye for an eye mentality, isn't it?
It is. He believes that if he leaves her there, he becomes the monster. By saving her, he saves himself. He validates the entire purpose of the rehabilitation.
So they wake up.
They wake up. They return to ordinary life. The source material describes the feeling so beautifully. The luxury of honesty and a tomorrow that is different from today. After lifetimes of looping, simply knowing that tomorrow will be a new day is the greatest reward imaginable.
It's a happy ending, but a very complicated one.
Extremely complicated,
Mm-hmm.
because now they have to live in the real world with the knowledge of what they did, but also who they became in the dark.
So what does this all mean? We've gone from a confused man in the woods to a master detective solving a 19-year-old crime and ultimately saving his enemy.
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, the 712 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle is a commentary on justice. The author, Stuart Turton, seems to be suggesting that our current justice system, which is punitive, static, might be wrong. He suggests that personality adjustment and mental prisons are dangerous, but could also solve a lot of problems.
It forces us to ask, is punishment about suffering? Is it about making someone pay time for a crime? Or is it about change?
If the goal is a safer society, then rehabilitation should be the priority. But the methods, wiping memories, psychological torture, are they ethical? That's the gray area Turton leaves us in.
And that is the lingering thought I want to leave with you, the listener. If you could erase a criminal's memory, take a murderer, wipe their slate clean, and make them live 1,000 lives to learn empathy, would that be justice? Or is it just a different, high-tech kind of torture?
And maybe more importantly, if they wake up a good person, are they still guilty of the crimes and the person they used to be?
Heavy stuff. But that's why we love these deep dives. We take the puzzle apart to see what makes it tick.
And sometimes we find out it's ticking like a bomb.
Stay curious.
And keep questioning.
See you in the next loop.